authority or things like the SEC is powerful enough to actually do what they say they will do. And this is a major, I will say, risk, or something we have to keep a close look on, especially if it has everything to do, or not everything, but it has a lot to do with the short squeeze here in AMC or GameStop. Okay, and I want to share with you an article that came across, here on Business Insider, where she's actually, the writer Lena Lopez is actually going through some reasons why the SEC is not that much feared on Wall Street and why it needs to be changed if things need to be turned around. And we all know that when things turn around, we can see definitely this thing pop all of a sudden and see exactly the tendencies that we're looking for since 9 months almost. All right. So starting first, why Gary Gensler, who during the Obama administration used to be the toughest regulator so far. He was kind of seen like the guy who, put Wall Street back on track after the 2008 crisis. But why so far now, nobody is even caring what he has to say. And to prove you what I'm talking about, let me just share with you this short, footage of Elon Musk back in 2018. So a couple of years ago.
Look at you. I want to be clear. I do not respect the SEC. I do not respect them.
He doesn't respect the SEC. And why is that? A couple of reasons. First of all, during the Trump administration, okay, and this was, kind of 4 years ago, and even before that, the SEC hasn't done much to really, kind of put fear into the bad guys on Wall Street. Look, during the Trump administration, enforcement actions against corporate America reached all-time lows. In 2020, the SEC charged the lowest number of defendants with insider trading since the 80s, down 17% from the previous recent lows set in 2019. This is astronomical. Pretty much, the SEC has gone toothless. If you are a watchdog, and you're supposed to watch over the sheep, well, if a wolf comes around, or a bear, and you pretty much have no way of rejecting them or pushing or fighting them, the sheep are just let alone by themselves. It's pretty much the picture, drawn here. But there's more. Let's continue. Well, someone is actually thinking that despite the recent speeches that the SEC chairman said about, for example, banning full payment for order flow or regulating the hot crypto market, well, if we were in a world that the SEC has full power and Wall Street guys were fearing the authority, the market will have dramatically have changed so far. For example, he said, we are looking at banning full payment for order flow. Robinhood stock dropped 8%. And then the very next day recovers. And, it's like it's never ever happened, even though it's considered a huge risk to that company. All right. That's another example. Now, someone else close to the matter said that, well, the SEC needs to change dramatically what they're doing in order to give the signal and, kind of initiate and instigate fear on the Wall Street guys. First of all, they are way understaffed and they are lacking resource. To keep up with all the innovations and activity in the market, the SEC enforcement staff should have grown by 1,000%. European Warden account processing Daniel Taylor told me over the phone a few months ago. Guys, I think they have about 4,000 employees right now, but this is all across, fraud, insider trading, the markets, accounting, pretty much everything when it comes to what's happening with money in the US. That's not enough. That's not that much, especially given how markets are structured today with everything being technology. And when you draw on someone else, the fact that the SEC resources are limited, budget isn't increasing, and its staff is underpaid. Well, are we surprised at this outcome from an under-resourced and underfunded agency? The same professor asked. Well, if the US made a choice to go after financial crimes in the way we interpret laws, fix broken markets and fund the agencies that are supposed to write the rules of the road. In an interview, Financial Times Gensler said that finance is about trust ultimately. And he's right. But if you want to build that trust, you have to start making rules that are going to actually get enforced. Because that is actually something that's ensuring that to investors that, hey, they're actually doing something here to keep me have faith in the market. But if the bad actors, the bad guys go without getting punished, I don't think it's something good for us. So how this is a good thing for AMC moving forward? Well, two things. First of all, Gary Gensler, as a professional, is seen and known and reputed, he has a reputation of being someone tough. So I think he's doing whatever he can with the resources and the budget he has, even though since the last 5 to 8 years, 5 years, nothing has barely been done in order to go after the bad guy. So he's taking something that is actually already broken. So the fact that he's communicating that he wants to bring back that transparency, that market fairness, that integrity, he wants to bring back righteousness. He wants to fix this broken system, the corruption and everything, but it's not easy. It's not easy because it's not fighting a person. You are fighting a system. You are fighting an entire broken system. But it will take time, at least with the current resources he has. And the second thing is, it might kind of pick and hurt the ego of the SEC, or even hurt the ego of whoever is working at top executive at the SEC agency. Because by looking at this, or by knowing actually that people like Elon Musk doesn't even care about what they have to say, well, it might push them and drive them to get that funding, to get those resources up to speed, and to get exactly what they need to get by going after top companies, top dogs, like people who are doing wrong in the markets and facing or creating bigger risk to even what we experienced back in 2008. And this is exactly what we've seen here with AMC and GameStop. So maybe this will be finally, that spike into turning around the whole wheel and making sure that, hey, by going at Citadel, for example, or whoever, hedge funds or top banks out there, it's manipulating the markets like they do in AMC, maybe we'll have a shot. But until then, I wouldn't really hold my breath on this because it's a long shot, guys. It's a long shot.